guys, welcome back to Free Car Repair. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing to the channel. Today will be super helpful video, guys, if you have a Honda Civic, that generation here from year 2016 to year 2021. If you have a Honda Civic that cranks but doesn't start, guys, we'll explain which 3 fuses you need to check that control fuel pump, fuel injectors, guys, the fuel system. Stay with us, we'll explain, it's very important. Also, if those fuses do not fix the problem, we'll explain what else it could be. Make sure you stay until the end. We'll explain where you can buy cheap fuses, relays from, that way you don't waste your money, and why it's important to test fuses and relays. All that will be shared for your convenience today. Make sure to stay until the end. Before we start, guys, let me tell you a little bit about us. On this channel you will be able to find, guys, a video for every fuse on your Honda Civic, guys, if you have that generation from year 2016 to year 2021. Why we make these videos? To save you time and money. Let's say you're down the road, you need a fuel pump fuse, because without that fuse practically the car will not be running if it's blown. You can just search for it and find it instantly and know which fuse to check, because even in the manual, okay, the fuses are under different names that could be really hard to diagnose. Now, another thing, guys, we're constantly working on things, taking engines apart, transmissions, fixing cars, and we have 3 channels that we have more than 1.1 million subscribers altogether on these channels, guys, that we daily put content that can save you thousands of dollars in repairs as well. So let's go ahead, explain now where you can find all the fuses. Another thing now here, guys, okay, you will have different kind of fuses on your Honda Civic, guys. Some of those could be really hard to find. Okay, we're talking about some multi-fuses, multi-block fuses right here. Those could be really expensive, hard to find, impossible to find in small towns or in the middle of nowhere. Relays can be overpriced as well. So we'll put a link in the description of the video below where you can get practically all the fuses and relays at a really good price and quick shipping as well. That way you don't waste your money, guys. So let's go ahead, start on it and explain about the fuses now. So now, if Honda Civic cranks but doesn't start, it could be multiple things that can cause that now, guys. But we're going to explain some of the most common ones. We have 2 fuse boxes that we need to check. The first fuse box is actually inside the vehicle, guys, on the driver's side, under the dash. If you look upside down, you're going to see that fuse box that looks just like that, next to the OBD model. That's the dash. OBD port, excuse me, that's the dash, and that's the fuse box. We're going to zoom in a little bit so we can clearly see. But before we continue, guys, let's explain why it's important to test fuses and relays. So let me explain why it's super important, guys, to test fuses. Fuses, not often you can see if they're burnt or they're good. Sometimes they may seem perfectly fine, you think it's a good fuse, you put it back in, and you end up spending money and time on parts and problems that do not exist, guys, when all you had to do, test your fuse, find out it's bad, replace it, fix your problem. So we will have a video how to test a fuse, okay, different kinds of fuses, and how to test relays, guys. We're going to put the link in the description of the video below, specifically to that video. Please check it out. Right here now, the first fuse that we'll need to check for the fuel pump will be in that first row here. That will be fuses 1 through 13. The fuse that we'll need to check is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That 20 amp fuse, guys, is for the fuel pump that you need to check right here. We have 2 more fuses that we need to check for the fuel pump and the fuel injectors, and if that still doesn't fix the problem, we'll explain what else it could be. We're going to open the hood, and under the hood you have a fuse box right here. If you open that cover, guys, you're going to see, okay, a fuse layout like that. This is the front of the Honda Civic, this is towards the back side. Now here, okay, let me explain which fuses we need to check here specifically. You need to check, guys, okay, 2 fuses, okay, in that fuse box, and we're talking about fuse number 7, which is 1, 2, 3, that fuse right here. You need to check fuse number 8, this fuse. One is for the fuel injectors, one is for the fuel pump. Another thing, guys, okay, if your Honda Civic cranks but doesn't start, we have a video that explains ignition coils fuse. You need to check that one, and ignition switch fuse, check them as well. That could be the problem for your Honda Civic. Hopefully the video will be helpful. Thank you for watching and see you next time.